going to go straight into it, and we're going to talk about the whole upgrade I did to the truck. So if anyone's interested, you know how much it's going to cost. So actually I have a list here of all the stuff that it entailed and the quantities and how I did it. So we'll go ahead and jump right into it here. Alright, so jumping in here, we're going to start with the rear of the truck. Now, I originally had the chrome bumper on it with parking sensors, and I wanted to go to something a little bit more classic that I had on my other trucks, and so went with a Rollpan. Now, the Rollpan was a Streetscene Rollpan, and I'll put the part number up here, and it was $357. And then behind the Rollpan we had a BHP Hidden Hitch, and it was part number 10012, which I'll also put up here, and it was $350. And all this stuff is before tax for the most part, and shipping. So depending on where you're at and where you're doing this, your cost might be just a little bit different than mine. But this is all also U.S. currency. So behind the hitch back there, I also had a Hopkins holder for the trailer controls, so like the plug-in, and that was $16.07. And then for my license plate light itself, it was a TST Industries license plate light. It was $14.99. And I had to do a little bit of customization to get that to work, and so I bought a YSY T10 socket holder, male ends, and those were $9.90. Also for the rear, you're going to need the Herco license plate, unless you reuse your existing ones from your old license plate lights. And then in order to mount that Rollpan, we had about $38 in stainless steel bolts, washers, nuts, lock washers, all of that in order to secure that Rollpan, so I didn't have any issues with the bolts or anything rusting, looking all nasty, all corroded. And to finish it off, the holder for the license plate was a Draw Tight, part number 5443. That was $47.11 off of Amazon. But moving on to the front now, the front was a traditional chrome cross grille, and it had a chrome front bumper, no fog lights, and no parking sensors. So, this is what we did to the front. First off, the front bumper was $114.29. The valance was $40.31. And the front bumper I did not buy Mopar, because Mopar was, I think, $600 or $700 for Mopar. So we went ahead and went with the one I got, and the fitment's perfect. I mean, it's just like factory. And then in order to secure it, I reused my old brackets, but I had to cut off the some retainers. So in order to get they're called front tow hook retainers, and those were, for 4 of those, it was $3.96. And then the grill was $359.99. Alright, and then moving on to the wiring in the front, there is a fog light jumper wiring harness, and it was $48.43. And then the headlamp switch, which was $62.89. And then I had to get a custom-made fog light harness extension, which if you go on the Ram forums, there's a guy that makes them on there. So I contacted him, and if you all are interested, you can contact me, and I'll set you up his email. And it was $70 for that fog light harness extension, and I'll show a picture of it as well. That was basically it for the front, and then for the valance, there were some push pins, and they were about $30, roughly about $30, and you needed, I believe, 15 of them, I think I used, on that valance to bumper to make sure it's secured. So I ordered 15, and I don't think I spared any of them. So, and you can never have too many of those push pins. The only thing I didn't include is the fog lamps themselves, which you can get those off Amazon, as well as the little brackets for, I think, $100 for both. So or you can just go to Mopar and get about the same. And paint-wise, it was $600 in paint. So for a grand total of roughly $2,185.38, give or take $50. Oh, by the way, you also need to go to the dealership and have them flash a sales code. And for my truck, it was called an LNJ sales code, and that is for the fog lights to actually work. So LNJ sales code. And if you're doing this, I would recommend, if you do a roll pan, to leave your parking sensors plugged in to the existing harness and just zip tie them up under the back where the spare tire goes. Mine, I had to take my spare tire off because my exhaust was just too close to it. So if you need to do that, I would go ahead and recommend zip tying it up under there, so you can still turn the parking sensors on and off. You can't use them, but you also won't have codes flashing on your screen. So that's what I highly recommend doing. I didn't do that at first, and I ran it without it, and I accidentally pressed the button, and it kept flashing codes saying that I needed to fix my parking sensors. And after plugging them in for about 2 minutes, it fixed itself. So I just wanted to give you an update of what it would entail and cost in order for you to do this switch to your truck. So if you're interested and you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I know this wasn't the most exciting video ever, but I just wanted to inform everybody what it costs and what it entails. And if you don't follow me already, go over and follow me on Instagram and as well as Snapchat, and I'll see you next video.